So these are the successor of the best-selling Android phone in 2020. In case you don't know, Samsung Galaxy A51 was the best-selling Android smartphone of 2020. A stands for awesome, by the way. Anyways, this is A52 and A72. We are covering both of them together because I have really interesting things to tell. Stay tuned. Now, the question that has to be asked is, why is the A series the most sold phone in the world? And how good are these A52 and A72? Well, this is Pradeep from TechWiser.com, and here's my unboxing and first impressions of both A52 and A72. But before we get to that, there's something serious. We want to reach 500k subscribers before April, and violence has to be done. On the subscribe button, I mean. Come on, what did you think? Let's go. So this is the Samsung Galaxy A52 and A72. The A72 is in violet color and the A52 is in blue color. Let's keep the A72 aside for a moment because most of the inbox content are the same. And let me quickly cut through the box. I've always had a problem opening smartphone boxes, like I would be the messiest unboxer in YouTube. And straight up, you have the phone itself. It looks really good in this pastel blue color. I think they are calling it awesome blue, but I would keep it at pastel blue. And you have some, oh, there's a SIM ejector tool over here. And within this box, you get some paperwork. I mean, come on, at this point, brand should already be including just a QR code scanner, but I think it's an offline phone, so paperwork is needed. And then you have a USB-A charger. This is a 15-watt charger. The A72 comes with a 25-watt charger. Although the A52 supports 25-watt charging, but you only get a 15-watt charger in the box. And then there's a USB-A to Type-C cable. Always comes in handy if you have other USB-C devices lying around. And that's pretty much it in the box. Let's quickly open the phone. And I really like that Samsung is going with this minimal pastel blue look. Currently, where brands are going really crazy with the gradient back finish. Personally, I don't like the gradient back finish. It's too fancy for my liking. I like this minimal design, somewhat like the Pixels. Good job, Samsung. Now, the A52 and A72 are the same devices mostly. A72 is more of a pro version with an extra telephoto camera, bigger display, bigger battery, etc. So unless I mention, I'm talking about both the A52 and A72. First up, I like how the phones look. The camera module is made up of the same material as the back, and this kind of reminds me of if iPhone 5C and Samsung S21 had a baby. One thing to point out is that it's a polycarbonate back, or in layman terms, plastic. My way to check is to take a key or a coin and rub it on the back. If the scratches stay, it's polycarbonate. And that's not the problem. You can use plastic back. It sometimes looks better than the glass ones, but this gives me the feel that it flexes a bit when I push it like this. And if you see, if I tap it, the sound changes across. The side frame on the A72 below the power button seems to be a bit detached. I can't show you in the video, but it feels in your hand. Having said that, this could be a problem with our unit. We have reached out to Samsung and we'll update the comments along with pricing once we have an official word. The phones come with IP67 waterproofing. That's something new in this range, and good job, Samsung. If you see up close, you'll see a rubber padding to protect water from getting inside the phone. Now, swiftly moving on to the display of the phones, it comes with a full HD 90Hz AMOLED display. The A52 has a 6.5-inch display, whereas the A72 has a 6.7-inch display. It's a small difference, but in real life, the A52 feels more one-handed than A72. And it looks great. I mean, I don't want to be a fanboy, but Samsung has one of the best displays in the industry. We can all agree on that. I compared it with my daily driver, OnePlus Nord, and the color on the Samsung looked a bit better to me side by side. It can get really bright up to 800 nits. The Nord can only get up to 700 nits. normally. It's not HDR bright, but bright enough. And I never had a problem with screen legibility indoors or outdoors. You also get an under-display fingerprint sensor and it's good, not the fastest, good. But personally, I'm not a fan of under-display fingerprint sensor. I still feel the side-mounted fingerprint sensor is faster and more useful. Whoever asked for this premium under-display fingerprint sensor, please ask for better things. And to complement this display, Samsung has stereo speakers. Nice. And it's really good stereo speakers. I mean, here, have a listen to it. Now listen to this iPhone XS Max. So I found the speaker in A series better than iPhone XS Max, but the XS Max is a 3-year-old device, so yeah. Overall display and the audio experience on this phone seems to be really awesome, but what about performance? We don't want a MediaTek G80. So in terms of processor, you get a Snapdragon 720G on both the A52 and the A72. Globally, there's also a 5G variant that comes with 750G. I'm not sure if at all it will be available in India. Now 720 is a gaming chipset and it performs decently. I love playing Genshin Impact and it's a heavy graphic game. So the game runs on low graphic settings, which is good in this range. I didn't have any problem with the gameplay and it ran as expected. If you play COD, Call of Duty, by default the game runs on high graphics and high frame rate, but you do get the option of very high graphics and max frame rate as well. I liked the choice of processors on the A series. I'm happy that Samsung went with Snapdragon and not MediaTek in both A52 and A72. I already made this point in a previous video about Snapdragon and MediaTek. Basically, Snapdragon gets faster and better gaming software support from game developers, so I prefer Snapdragon. Watch this video. And talking about video, the cameras on this thing. Well, there's one major difference between the A52 and A72 cameras. Both of them have 64 megapixel f1.8 OIS main sensor, 12 megapixel ultra wide angle sensor and a 5 megapixel macro lens. The A72 has an extra 8 megapixel 3x zoom optical lens, whereas the A52 has a 5 megapixel depth camera. Both have the same 32 megapixel f2.2 selfie camera. So the main 64 megapixel camera is straight up good. I've been liking Samsung's HDR processing and overall camera processing. The wide angle camera is also good. It's bumped from 8 megapixel to 12 megapixel and the photos turn out really good. And my favorite, macro camera is now 5 megapixel. It's practically usable. I always prefer a 5 megapixel camera over a 2 megapixel macro lens. My only suggestion would be, please let us make videos from the macro camera. It would be really nice if you could do videos on the 5 megapixel macro camera. On the video end, the sensor is optically stabilized or OIS, and the difference in 4K video recording is good when you run or walk. But we tried taking a bit of shots while cycling and it had a kind of rolling shutter effect all over the footage if you look closely at the edges. I'm not much of a selfie person, but the 32 megapixel selfie camera is good. The skin tones looked close to real life and there's no extra smoothing or the Barbie face thing. Overall, the camera software and processing is good. And talking about software, both the phones come with full One UI 3.1 based on Android 11. So you get Samsung Knox, Secure Folder, Samsung Pay, Good Lock modules, screen recorder, everything on this phone. In case you don't know, Samsung has two One UI versions, the One UI Core version which comes on the M series and F series or the online phones, and then there's a full One UI series which gives you the same exact One UI experience as you get on their flagship models. Samsung has been at their best in terms of Android updates and software experience. They even promised 3 years of Android updates and 4 years of security updates at the launch event. So if you end up using Samsung phones for 4 years, software updates won't be a problem as per Samsung. My most favorite feature of One UI is this app twins. So I like to chat on WhatsApp and watch a YouTube video simultaneously because I like it. So I can make an app twin, and when I tap on it, both apps open in split screen mode. That's nice. Oh, by the way, Google has put up the same exact feature in Android 12. Slow claps. The only suggestion to Samsung would be avoid putting pre-installed apps on these phones like Moj, MX Tuck, Daily Hunt, etc. You can uninstall these apps, but come on, shouldn't be there in the premium A series phone. Anyways, the good software experience carries forward to the network as well. Both A52 and A72 have carrier aggregation, so you will get 4G plus if at all it works in your area. For some people, it doesn't. I see you, Airtel. Finally, I can't talk much about the battery because it has just been 4 to 5 days with the device. The A52 has a smaller 4500 mAh battery, whereas the A72 has a 5000 mAh battery. Both support 25 watt fast charging, but you only get 25 watt fast charger with A72. It's 15 watt on A52. Why? To end it, should you buy it? Well, it's my first impression. We'll have more clarity once we see the pricing and use these phones for a few weeks. In the A52 and A72, I would personally prefer the A52 due to one-hand experience and better pricing. If the A52 is around 25,000 to 28,000, I would prefer it due to the smaller size and really good display and camera. It's priced higher than the online M and F series, but I would prefer this due to the premium ad-free software experience, IP67, and faster, fuller One UI update. I think people should now start paying for software, good ad-free software experience, so even brand starts giving you good software. Come on, if you can pay for Oxygen OS, why not pay for One UI and faster updates? This is Pradeep from TechWiser.com. I'll see you soon.